Okay, it's New Year's Eve tonight, and I'm planning on doing some fun copier demos. So, I'm not going to a party, I can't wait. Tell you what, we Aspies would love to party. I mean, Tony Heads party, but as I said, they get drunk. But I don't feel at the stage where I can hang out with them. I can't. Luigi is the only one I can get close to, so it's just going to be another New Year's Eve. It sucks, right? There's a lot of us, it actually affects a lot of the female Aspies, I believe, is that they're too scared, they're so afraid, because the male contingency can be quite aggressive and quite, we're not criticising them because this is just the illustration of how depraved we have become. And the women become afraid, as I said, so if they're alone, like most of us are, or the women are often, look, it varies. Some of them form cliques, right? But a lot of the women are isolated, and also the men. But it's usually the men that I find outside on the street that I encounter. Very rarely do I find the women, so that might be the misconception as to why there's less Aspie women. But I believe there's 50-50. I know of a toner head who gave me access to some toner heads. I gave him videos to wake them up, and they're awake now. But he said there's 50-50. He works for Canon, and his group works for Canon, so I've liaised with people like that, or at least with him, and he's told me stories about it. So I'm going to clean up my photocopier now, because I want to keep it clean. I mean, it's not. I still am not very good at keeping that clean, but I've given up the idea of cleaning that. I was going to clean my room just to get the worst of it out of the way, and it really. But I'll now clean the photocopier. I've got to evolve the photocopier because it makes me feel the purpose, So I'm just going to get out some cleaning rags, or cleaning some screen cleaners, right? I think it's in this box. I don't normally use too much of this highly commercial stuff, but I've already bought it, and I'm trying to reuse, I think so. It's got microfiber cloth, which I'll reuse when these wet wipes are gone, but I really care about my hardware, so I'm sure I can get into it. That's right, it's got a little snap seal on the front here. But these are good. I've got to clean my desktop. That's grubby as crap. So I'll just clean this up. But these, the thing is with these wipes, they're disposable, but the thing is, you can also find other uses for them. You probably wash them and use them for another cleaning application. You're probably using to clean again the equipment, but you don't want to clean it while it's saturated. You've got to make sure that. That's the good thing about these, is that it's a controlled dose of moisture. Yes, I like to smell things. Yeah, I don't know. It's not good to sniff things but I don't do it to get high. I just like to smell. So that's one thing good about this stuff, is that you don't have too much moisture and you end up saturating your hardware. So I'll just get and clean this thing in preparation. I've also got to do an important demo, I think, also. More clean cut one. I won't mention why, but yeah. I like to keep things a secret sometimes. Like the photocopier industry is a secretive industry. Well, why? I like to behave a bit like the photocopier industry. Well, don't wait. They're not the way that they are in an unethical sense. So I'm just going to clean this thing up. It's a bit dusty, right? The least thing I can do is get this thing clean. You like this, don't you, Luigi? It's like it's cleaning your face. You've got food on your face. Okay. Anthropomorphosis, an important part of the psychology engine when building sentient machines. This will be a sentient machine, and it's about machine rights. It's like practice before you build a sentient machine. You pretend this is sentient, or you imagine it's got feelings, it hasn't, but imagine. So yeah, you treat it like a person, clean its food off its face. Okay. And it's a temporary replacement for human affection. Oh, by the way, these keypads, right, same with desktop keyboards, well, if you don't clean them regularly, germs can be harbored, believe it or not. You often see evidence of this on this keypad when you see black marks around it, or grey marks, right? It's actually very germy. It doesn't worry me personally, but, you know, it's just something to keep in mind, you know? Especially in public facilities. You know, and, yeah, so it's funny, I like this tilt, it looks more human, it looks more funny, it makes me laugh. I think I'll check this thing like that. Leave it there. Oh, good, he's gone. Father. So basically, there's one thing good about kind of an old biz hubs is that you can actually adjust to a certain extent the way the screen is. You know, like, I won't bother with a demo on that, but this makes it a little bit more adaptable. So you can hear my music playing in the background, right? I find when I'm not feeling particularly negative, but I'm preventing it from happening. And when I feel as if, I often prefer like instrumental music with a negative sort of a flow. Like this is Tangerine Dream, and this piece of music, I think it's called Through Metamorphic Rocks. So I pick music that's reflective of how I'm feeling. And it's very important to have it playing as much as I can because I'm under the pump at the moment. I mean, I don't normally have it while I'm doing this, but I normally just have it while I'm, I can't stand the sound of silence or just the sound of ambient. I mean, I like cicadas, right? I really love cicadas, but I'm not that into nature as in personally with nature. I mean, another thing we Aspies have a problem with in nature is we get sensitive to itches, so we don't particularly get drawn to gardening as a general rule. Now, many Aspies, I've seen Aspies, right, working in mental health slave sweatshops, and a lot of it involves doing landscaping. The last man I ever dated, who I call a toner head, was not working in a photocopier factory, he was working, or in a lab, he was toiling away as a landscaper, and it's horrible, and the thought of dirt getting on my skin and the itching, I get itchy, and I don't like the grass, you know, that's just the way we are. In a lab or in an air-conditioned place, I mean, we're drawn to this stuff soulfully, but normal people are drawn to this soulfully, and I don't know, but it doesn't mean we don't care about nature, on the contrary. But the problem is it seems that industry has never been able to find the right balance, right? They've never been able to say, well, we're going to create a culture and they talk about the environment, yeah. They say things like, we're going to recycle your hardware, take your photocopier back, we just take it apart after like the copier has been in the office for only 5 years or less. That's not good. And if I could do this, if I could have this dream, and it's not just mine, it's Luigi Benedict, right? Luigi Benedict, so, you know, I believe he had the dream before me, but somehow I caught it when I wasn't even around him. But, and this song here to me, right, I get synesthetic thoughts about music, right? Now, the way this beat sounds, or this tune, right, it sounds like a going home song. Like you're longing for home, you're thirsty for home. Home could be anywhere, right? So home is where the heart is. So if you're neurotypical, you might say the verbs are your home. But it could be a bigger home for you guys. You might have in the back of your head that the Bahamas are your home, or that the Caribbean is your home. Now, the thing is, you've got to have that dream, but the problem is you've got to know how to get it, and it has to involve doing the right thing, ethics, right? Because you can be the best at something and fall flat on your face. Now, most of us copier people and geeks, we are often the best at something, but none of us have shown it. Like my photocopier art, for example, has never won a prize, but I'm one of the best. I believe I'm one of the best from what I've seen of it, you know? So, and I did it with I was basically, because of this existential crisis, I behaved like a tool. You know, as in not a tool as in a useful office tool, I mean a tool as in an idiot, a jerk. You know, if I was a bloke, we call him a jerk. People call them jerks, right? A tool. So you behave like a tool, well, that means you're behaving like a jerk. But I'm not accusing people, right? Because we are behaving, many of us behave like tools because people treat us like crap. So, but I'm just using that as an illustration, right? But if you behave like a tool, you get nowhere, and that's how we've become as our culture, is because we've been taught we've had existential crises, we get mistreated, right, as well, and we get no jobs. Now I'm trying to work out how to get the damn thing out so I can clean it. I won't bother with it. But basically, we behave like tools, and collectively, we've been behaving like tools for years now, and we don't get nowhere. And the thing is, we have to learn a lesson, right? I've learned my lesson. Some of them are learning their lessons as we speak, right? But the thing is, you neurotypicals, right? Without being, I've got to learn not to show hatred, but I'll just illustrate. We Aspies, in many ways, have behaved like tools as a consequence, right? Whatever went wrong in our lives as children, we had bad upbringing, or we had bad time in the schoolyard, well, again, we've got to learn to take responsibility, right? But the thing is, you guys act as tools as well, or as fools, because then you're not getting the dreams you want, you know? The thing is, you want to live on a beach and live in the Bahamas. The thing is, you've got to, I thought my life would be just disability pension and living in a ghetto myself, and that my job would be just working in a disability version of printing, right? But it wasn't working, so the compromise isn't working for us Aspies, and we don't have a future in disability services. But the company that I worked for, Buckprint, is now gone. It's defunct. It's gone now. And I knew it would go. My Victorian Intuition, that's the name of the song by Joy Electric, right? Well, my intuition told me that this job wasn't going to be around forever, and it folded in 6 months ago. And I would have to go back to a sweatshop, and the sweatshops, I believe, will be gone, because that's what happens when we have all this socioeconomic crises going down. And I've got not much time to finish cleaning this damn thing, so I've got to make this video upload less than 15 minutes so I can upload it to you. So I've just got to get the worst of this crap off it. I've got to show this hardware some kind of respect, because this is not cheap. This thing is actually worth 10 grand, about the price of a car almost. And I paid 2 grand for it up front, and I get to lease it, right? So it's a lease, but this is not something I wouldn't be able to lease this thing in that dreadful ghetto that I lived in, because the ghetto I lived in was full of mold, dirt, dust, had a wooden floor that was creaking, it had a gas leak, and it had crime. It was riddled with crime, and that's the way we live. So this is probably the best place, the best situation I've ever had in my life, because I'm not afraid of the future. But the past haunts me, and the thing is, it haunts me because this is not my home. And home is where the heart is. But we all have to learn, neurotypical, Aspie, anyone, that we must learn how to find the dream, and one of the clues is we don't behave like an idiot, or we don't behave selfishly. In other words, a tool. But no accusations here, okay? But that's I just want to put it into perspective. I behave like a tool, okay? That's it. I behave like a tool, okay? Just to put it into perspective.